this lineup that are dangerous, the process of working through your young pitchers in this process. Just curious how that's going.
It's good. It's good for us to face one of the top. I think we're going to be a top 10 hitting team in the country. I think we have a lot of options offensively. So I think it's really preparing our pitchers to what they're going to really see, especially the freshmen come from high school. This is a good indication of what they're going to see during the regular season because we do have a really good offensive line.
You think they're doing well learning on the fly, the freshmen specifically?
Yeah, it's like any other fall. It's up and down. You know, we have some that have really stepped up and have done a really good job. You got some other ones that are making an adjustment, but it's a big freshman group, and I think they have a good head on their shoulders. So I think they're doing a good job of learning, and they understand how good our offense is. So they know that in order to get outs at this caliber, we got to get outs offenses similar to ours, for sure.
How important is it to watch how they respond to the adversity that they're facing against these tough batters? I know it's just the fall, so it's low stakes, but how does that play into your process?
Yeah, it's the biggest thing, you know, mentality for sure. I think all of them are within the same about mileage per hours. I think you guys see that in the Twitters that are going out. All of them have good breaking stuff. All of them have a good changeup. Now the biggest separator is how they handle the moment. You know, we're going to get a chance to go down to USD November 4th and then play Grand Canyon here in a fall game. So I think how they handle those big moments, you're going to see a lot of freshmen pitch on both of those inter squads or both those scrimmages. And how they handle the moment is going to be who separates who pitches, who doesn't pitch, who gets an opportunity early on.
You've been keeping an eye on the Diamondbacks as of late?
I have, yeah, absolutely, man. That's been awesome. It's igniting the Valley. I think we've been trying to move up our inner squads early so our guys get a chance to see the games. I think it's important for our guys to see the games. I think it's important for our guys to be supportive. Obviously, our head coach is an alumni of the D-backs, so I think that's huge for them to understand the history of that and also to see what teams can do when they come together. So every inter squad's been pushed up so we could get our boys to get a chance to see those games.
Kind of successful the D-backs bullpen has been. Have you kind of used that as a learning lesson to this bullpen, like this is how it could look like?
I think that's the same recipe when it comes to college, when it comes to the big leagues. I think you see it when you amplify in moments. I think in a course of 162 games, you don't really recognize that. For playoff baseball, we are playoff baseball. College baseball is playoff baseball. It's 56 playoff games, basically. So you see how important the bullpens are. You see how important it is to do the small things and move runners over, the guys who can run. So all of it is a learning moment for our guys. So we encourage them to watch, and obviously we're supporting our D-backs, and I'm looking forward to the World Series.
Kind of branching off what you said there, that Diamondbacks team, really their pitching staff outside of Gowan and Kelly took almost all season until they found their circle of trust, and it's now taking them to the World Series. Is that like a kind of a comfort thing for you to know, like it's not always going to get solved on opening day?
I mean, we've seen it all the time. Everything changes through the course of the year, and more in every sport: baseball, basketball, football, college baseball. The teams that are playing the best at the end are the ones that obviously get in the big dance and get a run going. So yeah, you want to sustain some consistency throughout the season, but we want to be playing our best baseball at the end. So I think that bodes well for our freshmen because they're going to get a chance early, and by the time the calendar flips to April and May, they're no longer freshmen. They would have been through it already. So some of these rookies that D-bats had, they're no longer rookies. Okay, they're 23 years old, hitting in the 3 and 4 hole or 2 hole. But they're veterans now, so we're hoping our guys get to that point as well.
With all these freshmen, how exciting is it as a coach just to see them develop so fast?
I think the excitement part is we talked about this before. We have our own guys, and they're bought in, and it's a pleasure to coach them. You could be hard on them, you could be pat them on the back when they need it, but they understand the expectations here and have pride in the program, and this is all they know. So I think that makes it for an exciting time for us here.
Is there anybody that stood out to you developmentally over these last couple weeks, or people that you're really excited to see come spring?
Out of the freshmen or all the guys?
Any of your pitchers?
Particularly out of the freshmen, Braden Barnes, the local kid, he's been really good for us. Cole Carlone obviously been good. Burnsy, we talked about him early, and he's been going. He's had to learn being from Wisconsin, but got the arms really good. I think those guys have been really a joy to coach. I think Fitzpatrick, coming from Arkansas, has kind of gave us a little bit of experience and been good with the young kids as well. So those guys have stood out for sure. I think after the next 2 weeks, I'll have a better idea when we go and play USD and we play against TCU. Who could do what type of thing.
Now you had mentioned, talking about the 56-game playoff atmosphere in college baseball compared to, the MLB and the 162 regular season. But what parallels do you see with that playoff atmosphere through those 56 games with the schedule that you and the rest of the staff have put together for this next year?
They're high intense games there's going to be good crowds. Okay, we're going to go to some places that have good crowds. I think when we play at the Ranger Stadium, it's going to be pretty sweet. They're in the World Series. We're going to go in there and kind of see a World Series team and where they play, and it's going to be a good atmosphere when we play A&M and TCU. We'll have a good crowd, so those guys just got to get used to slowing down the moment. And I think being so young and being our third week out there, I think that's going to only benefit them as we get into Pac-12 play.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.